BlogTalkRadio, the world's largest online radio network.
Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year. This is Doug and Joyce with Restless South Fan Edition Blogcast, first one of the year. Joyce is with us tonight. Welcome back, Joyce.
Hi. Welcome back from what, next week or last week?
Well, you weren't with us with the last episode, so I was welcoming you back.
Oh, I forgot the little short one we did after the whole Sharon and Victor scandal.
Yeah, that was a great turnout. But tonight, we have an amazing guest with us tonight. You love her. We've all been growing up with her. She has no other introduction I can give, but for those who may not remember, this character has been buried alive. She's rocked on with Danny Romalotti. She's had relationships with Paul Williams, Scott Granger, Brad Carlson, even given him a heart attack in bed, and on Bold the Beautiful with Ridge and Eric Forrester. The wonderful, the beautiful Tracey Bregman. Welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here.
Thank you. We are so excited to have you here.
And by the way, you know what? I like to be reminded at least 3 times a year that I gave Brad a heart attack in bed. I love that.
Oh, I know.
Because to this day, it really upsets Don Diamont.
Oh, does it?
He always says it was a heart episode, not a heart attack.
That's funny. I saw on Twitter earlier that you were out having a good time over in the Third Street Promenade. Did you enjoy that tonight?
Oh, yes, it was really nice, just taking a nice walk.
Yeah, I used to live in L.A., and I used to love going to Santa Monica and just enjoying the coast and just the peacefulness of that area. It's a wonderful area.
It's beautiful. It was very hot today.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, very warm, almost like a summer day.
Oh, that's good, especially. It's unusual for this time of year. So did you have a good, happy New Year?
You know what? I had a phenomenal New Year.
Awesome.
Really great holiday. It was fun, taking a break. But, of course, keeping in touch with everybody. Spent the day with Stafford, and, it was really nice.
Sisters, redhead sisters hanging out. That's awesome.
That's right.
We call each other amazing. And that's good. And I saw in a recent interview you also called Jess sis as well, since you're also sisters now.
Oh, yeah. She calls me little sis. I call her big sis.
Well, in preparation for this show, I wanted to go kind of back in history to see, where you started and how you've gotten to where you're at today. One of the things, sadly, I did not know about you was that you were born in Germany, and that's amazing, and that you came over to the U.S. at age 10 or 11. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was born in Munich, Germany, and then raised in London, England, till I was 10 and a half.
Wow. And your parents were both in the business, I hear.
Right. My mother was an actress who did The Saint, and she's in one of the most famous Twilight Zones, and she worked all the time, and my father was a musical arranger. There's a record out called Bing Sings Whilst Bregman Swings. His 2 Ella Fitzgerald albums are still on the top 100 jazz albums. And then he became a producer and director. The reason we were in London is he ran specials for BBC television.
Oh, wow.
So I kind of grew up in the business. Yeah,
that's awesome. I mean, that's such a great inspiration to get you into where you have, you've become and grown and over the years.
Right. I mean, I grew up on sets, and I learned it from the other side because I really, strangely enough, didn't go to work with. Sorry, my dogs have decided to turn into Cujos, and hold on, shh, guys, sorry, they are going insane in the background.
That's okay.
I sort of learned it from the producer standpoint. So I spent time on set with the producers and directors, and then hours and hours and hours in the edit bay with my father. And so I learned so much about production and what goes on behind the scenes, more so than really what happens on set.
Wow. So was Days of Our Lives your first big break then, when your role as Donna Temple Craig?
Yeah, how I got my SAG card, my Screen Actors Guild card, was a movie of the week called 3 on a Date with Lonnie Anderson, directed by Bill Bixby. And before that, I was the Kellogg's Apple Jacks girl, and actually started when I was 11 hand modeling for commercials. I did Mattel toys, and then I started to sort of model, and then my first real gig, because I only had one line in 3 on a Date, my first real gig, you're right, was Days of Our Lives, which I was hired for 3 days and ended up staying 2.5 years.
Wow, that's I started watching soaps in '83, '84, so I missed that time frame.
So right when I started Young and Restless.
Yes, right when you started Young and Restless. So I pretty much have grown up with you all the way through your character. So you're like a big sis to me.
We've grown up together.
Yes, and but in between, and I mentioned this on Twitter with you the other day, in between Days of Our Lives and Young and Restless, you starred in the big classic horror film, Happy Birthday to Me.
Right. I did I did actually 2 movies and a nighttime series in between. And I did this series called Second Family Tree for NBC, which was an amazing experience with Ann Archer and Frank Converse. And and I played Martin Hewitt's girlfriend, and James Spader played the brother. So it was an amazing experience. And then the executive producer, Wes Kenny, from Days of Our Lives, literally drove up in my driveway one day. He had gone over to Young and Restless, and I walked outside and said, Wes, oh my goodness. And he said, hey, kid, you want to do a soap again? And I said, well, what are you doing? And we sort of talked back and forth. And I wasn't sure I wanted, at that point I was, 18, and I wasn't sure what I was doing. And I started to watch the show, and I really, really loved it. And I came in and met with everybody, and they created the character of Lauren. I was only supposed to be there for the summer, 3 months, and ended up, never leaving, actually.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a really good thing. I mean, how many gigs in this business can you say? In fact, I had dinner with Eileen Davidson last night, and we were talking about it at dinner, how blessed we are and how grateful we are to have these kind of gigs, because you're right, daytime is changing dramatically. We talked a lot about that last night, and how lucky we are to have these amazing gigs, because both of us have been able to have our families and have our children and bring our babies to work and continue to do our 2 loves, which was motherhood and acting.
Well, yes. Yeah, we'll talk about the genre here shortly. That's a hot topic for a lot of talent and fans all over. I did read something online, and you never know when it's online what it's true or not. But I read that you added the letter E to your name because an astrologist suggested it would help your career, and then you landed the role a month later or so on Young and Restless. Is that true, or? It's
actually true. In fact, I was born Tracy Elizabeth Bregman, and she said I needed to be Tracey and bring the E period in, and that's exactly what happened. 4 weeks later, as I landed Young and Restless, and I've been afraid to take the E out ever since. And
Well, that is interesting to know. So, some people who aren't sure about astrology, you never, hey, look, we have proof right here.
It was numerology.
Oh.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting, and then I was like, wow, maybe this stuff works.
Really? I mean, everybody has a different beliefs in it, but, if it works and it got you where you are today, then bless it then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, in doing the research, we know Lauren was a singer back in the early career, or in your early career, and I also read that you're a singer-songwriter as well. Do you still pursue that, or did you ever have an album or anything over the years?
Oh, no. Only in the shower do I pursue my singing career. No. I mean, I love music. I co-wrote a musical in the last couple of years, so I still love music, but I don't sing anymore.
Oh, that's a shame. It'd be wonderful to have a Danny come back and you guys do a little duet or something like that.
Danny. Well, I'm not sure anybody would want to hear me, but I will tell you that those days were so much fun. I loved shooting our rock concerts. I loved working with Michael Damian. We just had so much fun. He is such a great guy.
Yeah, he is. We do miss him. Our fans, the fans of the soap, definitely miss him. He could be used in Genoa City now with Daniel and Lucy, and it would be nice to see a presence of Danny return someday. And maybe, just as you said, never say never. That's one of your things I see you say in a lot of interviews, so I'll use that as well. You never can say never because we never know what's
right, it's so true. Just when you think it's not possible they could do that, you do it. So I just try and keep an open mind all the time.
Perfect. So when you joined Young and The Restless, you were a very young girl, and you weren't the nice girl in Genoa City. You pretty much stole Danny. You terrorized Tracey. You were a bad girl, and over the years, in the last, since those times, up until the Sarah Smythe role that you took over, which was brilliantly done as well, you don't see that side anymore. Do you miss that? Do you miss being the bad girl? Or
I so missed it, and yes, I mean, when I first came on the show, I was a bitch with no redeeming qualities at all. And then it was really nice that Bill Bell started to evolve the character, and you sort of understood why she was the way that she was. And then they sort of made me so nice. I think I'm a little bit edgier now than I was during the Lynn Latham panic attack era. But, I think, do you remember the Christmas Miracle show with Christian LeBlanc kind of doing the It's a Wonderful Life that he did so incredibly brilliantly and won an Emmy for? And they had me as Lauren as the bitch who had not evolved. And I think that's where they got the idea to do the Sarah Smythe, because this crew, even though Maria Bell goes way back with the Bell family and with both shows, I don't think she ever saw me do the whole bitchy storyline. And so when they saw me do that, they were like, "Oh, we didn't know you could do that." And it was fun. I so enjoyed that day, and it was fun to do it with Beth Maitland again. To terrorize her again all these years ago. Yes.
Those your scenes with Beth were phenomenal. I mean, you used Lauren used to tease her about her weight, and you guys were a nasty mean to her. And I mean, but us fans love to hate the ones that are the mean ones, but we enjoy those. And And I really do miss Beth on the show. I really wish she was able to be a part of the Abbott family. And there's a lot of Abbotts on air nowadays, but once a year or twice a year, I really wish it could be more.
They do write Beth in, though. They're starting to write her in more, and it's such a delight and such a treat.
Yes, and her smile is so infectious. She's always been an amazing character, and I really do hope that they can bring her in. And again, I mean, they bring the father in, John Abbott, as a ghost every once in a while to talk to the Abbott kids and family, and I would really like to see Tracey back, because the Abbotts and of course the Newmans are the core families of the show. That's where Jabot got the name Jabot, and I mean, it'd be nice. One of the things that fans miss about the current status of the show is the core fans. I mean, the core characters of the show, and we see a lot of new characters coming in, which time evolves, show evolves, changes happen, yes, but we do miss the core family values that Bell Sr. created.
Right, and we appreciate that. I think it's important that when you turn on Young and Restless at any given time, you're seeing core people, because when you get too many new people, I mean, you don't know what you're watching. You don't have the connection. And, of course, we always need new blood, and you need somebody new to spur a storyline, but you hope that they spur a storyline for core characters.
Exactly. Yes, and that's what, and you know, and I don't know if you read tweets about upset fans and stuff, but we're never going to give up. You know, and we're not going to, I mean, some have walked away, but us core people who love the show and us fans, you know, we love the show, and we are going to watch it every day, and we hope that, you know, even though there's 4 soaps standing after next week, I hope we can keep these soaps for longer than what the contract is already up for in the future. And, you know, we you know, this of course is a topic or a touchy topic for a lot of people, but for people like us, for me and other long-term fans who've watched it from either day one or for 2 or 3 decades almost, we've grown up with all these characters. We love these characters. There are people out there who they feel like this is part of their family. And then, you know, when you take that family away, I mean, it's heartbreaking. So I can't imagine how the fans of the ABC soaps are feeling with the loss of All My Children and One Life to Live. And you know, it's so sad, and I really do hope that we can find a soap home for those soaps that were promised, you know, to go on to online and, you know, have a place for us people who love soaps to go to.
Yeah, you know, I agree with you. The gate goes on, so I haven't called you on that line. I agree with you. I mean, all of us are so thrilled that you are starting the campaign to keep these soaps around. Eileen and I had a very, very long conversation about, we actually disagree as to what happened to daytime audiences, strangely enough. But the bottom line is we have lost this daytime audience, and I just can't believe that I've gone from, you know, when I started there were like 13 or 14 of them, and now we're down to 4. You know, it's just, it's so sad. I'm very grateful that I got to see soaps in the heyday, that I got to write it, that I got to be at the Emmys when there was 13 shows and be with all the actors. But boy, it's just so sad to see the demise. But we appreciate everybody keeping it on, because, you know, if people aren't watching and they're not writing in and they're not talking to the network, it's all going to be game shows and reality.
Yes.
That is truly just the way it goes.
Yeah, I know it's cost effective to do those type of shows, but, you know, soaps have been around for 60, 70 years with, you know, back in the radio days, so there's generations of people who depend on this on a daily basis. And let me tell you, you guys work harder than anybody, because you guys are on 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year. You know, people who are on, you know, weekly shows or monthly shows, they don't work as much. And, you know, you guys are hard work, and you guys have a great cast and amazing talent, new and old and previous cast members, some amazing stuff. No wonder you guys have been number 1 for, I think, 20 some years now. And so us fans are going to keep you number 1, and we're going to keep you on the air, whatever it takes.
Well, we so appreciate you, because, you know, I love daytime television. And when I came here from England, my mother used to watch Days of Our Lives. So, I mean, and we were talking about this last night, how soaps are multi-generational, and how it's usually your grandmother got you into it, or it's the soap that your mom watched. And my mom watched Days of Our Lives. And so I became a huge Days of Our Lives addict before I ended up on the show. And in fact, in the summer, I always say soaps actually saved my skin, because when I was a teenager and in the summer when everybody else was outside with baby oil on them, I was watching soap operas.
So that must have been a dream for you to actually, you know, not only be a fan of the show, and then that's one of your first real big jobs.
Well, I'll tell you, the funny thing is that I was so in love with Dawn and Marlena's storyline, and I got hired to break them up. And I was devastated that I was breaking up my favorite storyline. I mean, thrilled to have the job, thrilled to be there, but I was like, what do you mean I'm breaking them up?
Anything else, please?
Right, can't I be with anybody else?
So actually, you were talking about, I know that you guys have such a hard work schedule because you have to produce something for every single day. Can you tell us?
Right, we shoot a show and a quarter every day.
Wow. So what's like a typical work day like for you guys, or a work week?
Well, it depends. We're always dark on Mondays, and we shoot 5 shows in 4 days. So the great news about always being dark on Mondays is this is actually the first time when we can all make doctor's appointments.
That's a good point.
And we kind of know what we're doing. But then the 5 shows in 4 days, we kind of kamikaze through the rest of the week.
Wow.
I literally call it guerrilla warfare acting, because you really, really, really have to know what you're doing. You have to come in completely prepared. There's no not knowing what you're doing.
Wow.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I know it's typically, to get the scene done in one take is ideal. And
that's what they aspire for.
Wow. And does that happen most of the time?
Yes.
See, and that just shows what good actors you guys are, to have to be that prepared for every single day.
Right. And if you think that we're doing, how many pages are we doing compared to the nighttime people, it's pretty insane. And especially if you're in main storyline, you can be, learning 20 to 40 pages at least a day, up to 60. I did 60 when I did the Sarah Smythe storyline.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
So you must be,
And I did them with myself.
That's a good point.
Right.
Like they say, you're a great actor if you can act with yourself.
Who knew I could? I didn't know. It was quite the test. I mean, honestly, they told me that. I was so excited. I got all this dialogue. I did it. I was learning it, and I let me tell you, I had a couple moments where I thought, oh my God, what if I can't do this? It's a difficult thing to learn one scene from both sides and perform it, and not have yourself to perform it against.
Wow.
I had a stand-in. What?
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I had a stand-in, but my stand-in never did it the way I did it. So I was at least hearing the lines, but I had to remember how I performed it.
Oh, yeah.
It was quite an interesting task. And with no rehearsal and one take.
Wow. You had mentioned a little bit ago about Emmys. You were the first, I believe you were the first actress to be awarded the Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Younger Actress, or ingenue, I think was at the time.
Right, I was the first recipient of that award.
Wow, that has to be an amazing feeling for you at that time.
It was surrealistic because my best friend at the time, Beth Maitland, not only did she win supporting and then I won younger lead actress, but we were the first 2 actors to ever win acting Emmys for Young and Restless.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was really an amazing year. And the show won Best Show.
That is amazing. And I know you've been nominated, I believe, 4 times since then?
Yeah, I've been nominated 4 times, yeah.
Yes. Well, once we can get you more screen time, you'll have a 5th one right there.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
No problem.
That'd be fun. I'm actually wondering, do you think there's going to be an Emmy Award telecast?
I mean, really, with 4 shows.
Yeah, I don't know.
Shows, that's kind of a concern for the 2013 award show, because, I'm sure this year is already, started, but, that's a huge event for the last, I don't even know how many years, but, to lose that on top of everything else is such a slap in the face to daytime, and I feel bad because everybody works so hard. Each of the characters who are nominated and not nominated deserve that kind of recognition. And,
right.
One of my, and this is just a personal thing, one of my things, I tune into those shows every single year, and for a show who is number 1 for 20 years, for me, doesn't get the recognition and awards and the nominations that I feel should. Or if it's number 1, then why doesn't it get more recognition there. I mean, the show picks up awards here and there, but for being
it's
number
not
one,
the clean
in my
sweep
mindset, I've
you would
always
think.
Yeah, I mean that's what I would think, but apparently it's always other shows on other channels that seem to always take home the gold and the majority of the nominations. And it'd be nice to have a Y&R year where you land almost every single one of them.
I vote for that too.
Okay.
We've got a question in the chat room. Somebody was asking if, you obviously you lived in Europe when you were a child, and kind of a two-part question. Somebody wanted to know, A, can you speak German fluently? And B, when, way, way, way in the future when you retire, would you ever be interested in moving back to Europe?
Okay, so the A is no, I only took a year of German at school, and what's interesting is we have two German-speaking people on the show, Eric Braden and Michael Grozade. They speak fluent German. And would I be interested when I retire, when I leave at 150 years of age? I've often thought, after a while, maybe retiring to France where they love older women might not be a bad idea.
That would be fun. Something that actually was a personal question of mine, what our favorite show is, obviously. We love Young and The Restless. What are some of the things that you do at night? Do you watch much TV in the evenings?
I'm not a huge television watcher, although I love Modern Family and Parenthood. Those are my two of my favorite shows.
What shows are taped in the soundstage close to you guys, that maybe some of the actors that you guys see?
We see Bold and Beautiful. We see, Dancing with the Stars, American Idol, and X Factor is taped next door in the same complex. And The Price is Right.
That must be fun for all the, X Factor and American Idol shows. Do you guys ever sneak over there and watch some of the auditions?
Well, the thing is that I just told the story the other day. They are actually on the lot, but they're in a separate building. So during the Adam Lampert year, I became obsessed and insisted that I needed to talk to Adam Lampert to tell him to stay the course and keep going because he was awesome. Why I felt he needed to hear from me, I don't know. And I have all the CBS badges, and I made it all the way up to the glass door, which means I only went through one thing where they let me go. And I'm calling CBS Publicity. I'm calling everybody I know to get me on the set. It's literally I could throw a stone at the studio. No one could get me on.
They don't realize who you are.
Yeah. Do you know who I am? No. No, actually, I never even said who I was, but I have the CBS badge. And they didn't care. They actually, laughed at me. I said, well, can I leave them a letter? They said, no. I was like, seriously? I said, I work next door. They said, we don't care. And clearly they didn't.
Ridiculous.
But the bottom line is, I ended up on the set, and I ended up talking to him.
Well, see, you got what you want.
I did through a source I never in a million years thought would be. At the same week that I couldn't believe I couldn't get on, my friend Kenny Morse, who I had been in acting class with, sent me an article that he wrote about his old friend Adam Lampert. I said, you must be joking. And I called him and I said, I have a funny story for you. And he said to me, do you want to go? And I said, absolutely. And so I went to a rehearsal where nobody was in the audience except for me. I got so lucky. And literally they were on break and they broke for 5 and everybody left the studio. It was something out of a movie. Everybody left the studio except for Adam Lampert and me. And I made a beeline. I talked to him through the whole break, and he was awesome, and I felt like complete.
That is amazing because aside from Young and The Restless, my other big obsession is Adam Lampert. Before I started this campaign for the Young and The Restless, I had a fan page dedicated to Adam Lampert, and the last 2 years after Idol, up until this last year, I went to 5 of his concerts. I even flew to Los Angeles to his solo concert that he did at Fantasy Springs. I got to meet him. It was a dream come true for me because I'm a huge fan.
Well, then you will appreciate the reason I was spurred to go talk to him is I was so upset during his year that he got lambasted for country night. I thought he did exactly what he was supposed to do, that it upset me so much. That's why I felt the need that I had to go talk to him. The poor guy. But, no, I was determined. He's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yes. Well, that's good to know that we have something else in common.
We have that. We have Young and Restless and Adam Lamford in common. I feel so close to
you. We are family for life.
There you go.
Well, one thing I wanted to kind of talk about is congratulations on being the Jabot spokesperson.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Jabot.com. I do pimp that site out a lot to fans. Does the brand continue to have momentum as time goes?
We have hit a little snafu, but everything is being restructured right now, and the fans should know very, very soon what's happening with Jabot.
Perfect. I always thought that when younger, I mean, I don't wear, makeup and use this type of product, but as a young kid, I always thought, I guess I was always thinking about the future. Why don't they sell Jabot products in stores? And I mean, this is when I was, 20 years ago. I always thought that would be a great idea. So when I saw shopjabot.com come out, I thought, that's brilliant. And then you guys showed up on the talk, and your character showed up on the talk. I thought that was brilliant, too, marketing. I know you, I don't know, do you still go to Home Shopping Network to sell it?
I was just there, and hopefully all of that will continue in 2012. That's what everything's being worked out right now.
Oh,
but you're right. Do you know how many people have said to me, I can't believe that it's taken this long to do this? And I said, I know, but we're here now, and the products are amazing. The people that have bought from us absolutely love the product. I love being on Twitter and people will send me pictures of their bathroom sink with all their Jabot products. Makes me proud.
I have seriously wanted to try the products, but I was wondering, if they actually were, good quality products, or if it was just like like having a fun Crimson Lights coffee mug, if it was just
No. They were researched and developed by an amazing woman, Elisa Beyer, and by CBS, backed by CBS and Sony Pictures. They are top of the line products. The makeup was made in Italy at the finest plant. I use all the products. They are truly, truly amazing, and it was great to be the face of it, but the most important thing for me is that I love the product and that I had passion for them. And that's what I tried to impart to the fans, my passion of the love of these products.
Well, that is awesome. And do you still also go on to the Canadian Shopping Channel to promote your Tracey Bregman collection jewelry line?
Yes. In fact, I'm going to be there February 12th and 13th, I think those are the dates, which is a Saturday and Sunday. I am the Today Special. I'm very excited to announce. And it will be my 1-year anniversary, so it will be a very special collection.
Wow, that is amazing. I bet you're involved in several different businesses. I think I saw something about a Bountiful Buddha collection as well.
You know what? I did that many years ago, but I'm not doing that anymore. But that was so much fun for me. The yoga line. Thank you for mentioning that.
No problem. Well, I mean, we've got fans waiting, of course, but I still want to, continue on. Just a couple more questions, just from me and some of the people who couldn't make it tonight. I promised them that I would at least get some of the questions out there to you. One of the biggest things about Lauren is you've been stalked, you've been buried alive, you've been terrorized by several psychos. The biggest fan favorite, of course, is Kimberly Brown as Sheila Carter.
Right.
That has been, because of that storyline, that has brought in a lot of viewers. And then, of course, when Kimberly left and went to Bold and Beautiful, Kimberly's talents were able to go over there and then come back. But what my question is, she's, quote, dead. She was brought back using Michelle Stafford, which a lot of fans were upset about. But would you like to see Kimberly Brown back as Sheila for one more go-round, or do you think that storyline is done? Or do you think that because of Lucy and Daisy, Do you think there's a possibility that we can resurrect her as her to come back? And would you like
well,
that?
this is when I give you my answer, never say never.
Okay.
Because I never know what they have up their sleeves. And I've heard some things blowing in the wind. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I've reached out to her myself because I would love to. I mean, I'm a huge Sheila fan. She's an amazing. Are you guys still friends outside the set?
You know what? She texted me over New Year's, but we don't usually keep in contact.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, you guys had a lot of cat fights and battles and stuff, so you paid your dues, that's for sure. But the fans would love to see Kimberly Brown back out as Sheila, either on Bold and Beautiful or Young and The Restless. And speaking of Bold and Beautiful, Lauren has connections there with the Forresters, and
right. And
do you ever wish that they would, kind of do some more crossovering like that?
We really enjoyed it. I always love doing the crossovers. I love spending time with, I call Y&R my family, but Bold and Beautiful my close cousins. And I've really enjoyed that whole cast. It's changed a little bit. Actually, most of the people are still there, but I always loved doing that. It was fun. And I loved going to Lake Como and, doing the whole fashion show and everything that I did on Bold and Beautiful, going to Barbados, all of that was such fun.
That is a lot of fun, and it would be nice not just for your character, but it'd be nice to see some more crossovers. We haven't had a crossover really since Amber has now went back to Bold and Beautiful, and Deacon came from Bold and Beautiful to here.
Right.
But it'd be nice to see some more of that because it would also draw viewers who don't watch Bold and Beautiful to it. And because when Sheila died in the farmhouse, apparently, and ended up in L.A. with Eric Forrester, I then began watching that. So I've now become a fan of that show and watched it for 21 years because of the Sheila storyline that unfortunately ended on Young and The Restless, but carried over there as well. So I would love to see that, and hopefully in the future with those two soaps still standing and strong, hopefully that we can get that to happen.
Yeah, that was a genius storyline, I thought, on Bill Bell's part.
Yes.
I thought it was really, really, really great.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay, let's hear.
Hello?
One more. Oh, I'm here. One more
okay.
quick thing. There was a beautiful moment between when you were at Kay's funeral, when everybody thought that Catherine died, where Tracey and Lauren forgave each other. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes,
That was something very powerful for the long-term fans who knew the history of both characters. Do you wish for more of that in daytime?
Beth and I were so thrilled to finally be able to address that, and I know the long-time viewers really loved it as well, and we so appreciated everybody who reached out to us after the scene, and it was just great. And I love that that Maria Bell really does play an ode to the long-time viewers, many times, and that was one of them. We couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, that was really good. One of Lauren's most memorable tales was being buried alive by Sean Garrett back in the day.
Oh my God, yes.
How was that story working with Grant Kramer and the once again another psycho burying you alive? How was that experience for you?
That was one of the craziest storylines. Oh my God, and it was long and so emotional. It was very, very hard to be separated from Doug Davidson, who played my TV husband at that time, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
It just was, I thought it was a brilliant story as well. Grant played the perfect psycho. It was just great, and I loved the reunion of Paul and Lauren and all the emotions and the threads that were played throughout the entire story. It just was an incredibly written one.
Oh yeah, that was classic. I mean, and longtime viewers, that storyline sticks out, because that happened before the Sheila saga, and that was such a, I remember that till this day, and I love going on YouTube and watching the old clips of that because it was so. That kind of mystery and intrigue is something I miss from the current way of things are doing on the show, and I miss that type of writing where there's that mystery and intrigue and that heart racing. I don't know if you remember the Cassandra Rollins storyline with Paul. That was,
of course, I do.
There was a lot of amazing writing back in the day with Bill Bell and Senior, and I just remember the storytelling is a lot different now than it was, and I guess because I've been a longer fan, over the years everything's adjusted and changed, and it'd be nice to kind of, as you said, Maria pays tribute to long-term viewers. I hope going forward still she does that to let us not forget that she knows about us that had watched it for 20, 30 years.
Right, exactly. And I hope that continues, because I think everybody really appreciates it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go ahead and take a caller, if that's okay with you. I have a special person on the phone for you. Her name is Pam, and I'm going to bring her on now with you. Her name is Pam, and Pam, you're on the air with Tracey. Go ahead and talk.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Pam.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in.
To you.
Absolutely. It's so great to talk to you.
I wanted to thank you for sending my son the email over Christmas.
Oh, Pam. I know exactly who you are.
Yes. I can't even tell you how thrilled he was with all of the emails that he received. And even if he didn't know who you were, it just made so much of a difference to him.
Oh, that's so sweet. Well,
really
we send much love to him, definitely.
Thank you. He should be back from deployment in February, so it's countdown time now.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I will keep my fingers crossed and big prayers coming your way.
Thank you. I also wanted to let you know I do use some of the Jabot products. I did order them the first time you guys came on.
Oh, excellent. What did you buy?
I bought that red carpet photo.
Oh, good.
Stuff. I don't know if it works on me, but I use it.
I think it's fantastic. I'm a big exfoliator.
Yeah, I mean, it makes your face nice and smooth. I like how it feels on, so
good.
That's a good thing. And then I use nighttime cream. And
the night cream is fantastic.
It is. It really moisturizes, and I have eczema, so I have a real dry face and patches, so it really helps out a lot.
Glad to hear that. That's wonderful.
Thank you. And then my other question to you is, now we know how you look so gorgeous, staying out of the sun and using all the products. What exercise regimen do you use to stay so in shape like you are?
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, today is my usual spin class. One of my stepdaughters is a spin teacher, so I go spinning once a week. I'm usually on my own recumbent bike about 4 days a week for 45 minutes. I usually hike for a couple of hours, and I do Pilates probably 4 or 5 days a week. I'm very, very active. I always say my butt's in HD, so I got to keep it looking okay. But Pilates I have done since I was 24 years old. I did it through both pregnancies. I did it after both pregnancies. I would say it's the best workout I've ever done. But I also say that it's important to do strength training, but really important to do cardio as well. You have to even it out.
Exactly.
But thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate it, and the question.
You're welcome. I really mean it. I mean, you don't age.
Oh, you're
I've
so
been watching
sweet.
for
Thank
so
you.
many years, and you're just gorgeous. That's all there is to it.
Are you calling?
Thank you. I'm sorry, what?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm here. Sorry.
Hi, Doug. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, that's okay. Sorry, I was getting ready to get the next caller on. Well, Pam, thanks so much for calling in. Pam is, just to let you know, Tracey, Pam is a fighter. She is on that Twitter 24/7, trying to do everything she can as well. We're trying to create a big Soap Nation online to make
I know. Pam's awesome, as are you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We want to keep you guys on TV, and we're trying hard to get a cable channel for all the ones that have been canceled and any future canceled ones, and just a dedicated soap channel so that way nobody messes with you guys.
Thank you. I wish SoapNet were, I happen to love SoapNet.
I do too. I mean, when I used to work, that's what I depended on.
Right, exactly. And thank
going.
goodness for DVR and TiVo.
Right.
Thank goodness for them. And Pam, thank you so much for your support and your continued fight. And the best of luck to your son.
Thank you so much.
Pam.
Thank you, Doug, for taking my call. Have a good evening.
No problem. All right. I have another caller for you. His name is Craig. He's calling from New Orleans. That's Christian's hometown, isn't it, I believe?
It is, and I was there this last summer.
Oh, Craig, you're on the air with us with Tracey.
Hey, how are y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We're getting ready for our Saints to play in this playoff game, so we're all excited, of course.
Oh, nice.
Actually, yeah, so we got a lot going on, with the BCS, LSU game, and all of that going on. So it's pretty exciting. But actually, I'm excited to talk to you because, like Doug, I've been following you probably since you came on the show. So.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so, and you, just like the other colleges said, whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. You look great.
Thank you.
Love watching you. Hopefully they'll give you more roles in 2012. I loved it when they made Jill your sister.
Oh, me too, and I'm so sorry that they stopped that.
They did, and I think they need to reconnect y'all again. I liked it when y'all started being more friends toward each other, because, y'all both need that, I think, in y'all's roles. So, which I missed that, so hopefully that'll change in 2012. But I want to thank you for all you've done for your fans and keep us entertained. And like I said, we appreciate all you do. And most importantly, hopefully your old nemesis will come back and cause you more problems in 2012. Because that was the best. When that storyline came, I think that really brought both of y'all out a lot, and I enjoyed following that whole storyline, and it was just amazing how y'all both did an excellent job, so I appreciate all y'all.
We had a great time doing it. Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
No problem. And but we're going to keep on fighting and keep y'all on because we don't want y'all to go anywhere either. So.
Well, I so appreciate your support. Thank you so much.
No problem. And thank you also
thank you,
for
Craig.
accepting me on your Facebook. Thank y'all.
Aw.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Craig. Take care. Well, Tracey, I have a super fan on the phone who's calling from 4 a.m. in Sweden to speak to you.
Oh, my goodness.
So I believe her name is Evelina. I have you on the air now. Would you like to speak now?
Hello, can you hear?
Yes,
Hi, how
you.
are you? Welcome. Thank you so much for waking up so early.
No, it's not early. It's late.
Oh, it's late. I thought he said 4 a.m. Okay.
Yeah, 3:30. My dad was freaking out, actually.
Oh. Well,
God, I can't believe
I'm so glad. Thank you for calling in and for staying up or getting up early, whichever way it worked out.
Well, either way. Oh my God! First off, I want to thank you. I don't know if you remember those, but I'm sort of spamming you with videos I'm making.
Oh, you're the one who makes all the great videos. Yes, I do know. Thank you so much for all your time that you spend doing those. They're amazing.
No, I love doing that. Oh, you're like my idol and everything. You're
so
amazing.
Sweet. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my God.
It's okay. It's okay.
What now? Are we, when we air in Sweden, what's going on in the storyline right now? Are you up with us or are you behind a couple
don't air
years?
in Sweden, actually. It doesn't air in Sweden. It hasn't since, I don't know how, like when I was little, really little.
Right. Oh, and you stayed true. That's so nice.
Well, not actually, because I started watching The Bold and Beautiful, and then I got obsessed. I was like 10, and so I watched online, and that's how I found you. So that's why I started watching Reinhardt.
That's so great. I'm so glad that you've continued, and Doug, you should see how fabulous her videos are. She spends a lot of time.
I will definitely check them out. Definitely, you tweet me the link on Twitter so I can take a look at that. I always enjoy watching fan-made videos of the cat.
Oh, yeah, I wish more people would do that, actually. But it's like, yeah, I love doing them, so.
Oh, well you're very talented. Thank you so much.
I appreciate
your call. Thanks for saying that. Oh, my God, you're talented. You're flawless.
Oh, you're so sweet. I appreciate that.
Well, I won't keep you on the line too long because I know it's expensive to call from Sweden, but I wanted to make sure I got you on the air right away because I know you're waiting all night to talk.
Thank you so
much.
Okay, goodbye and Happy New Year.
Bye. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. That's great. Yeah, she tweeted me this morning and said, I'm from Sweden. Is there any way you can take my calls as soon as you start taking callers? I said, honey, of course I will. That's amazing that she stayed all night for you. And she's been tweeting me, and she's just like she told you, she started watching. She saw you when you became on Bold and Beautiful at the crossover, and has been a fan of yours ever since. And that's amazing. And it's sad because she said that they don't air it there, so she has to watch it on YouTube.
Right. Well, she's a tried and true fan, and we so appreciate that.
Exactly. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next caller on hold. Anthony from Connecticut is on with you. Anthony, welcome.
Hello.
Hi, Anthony. How are you?
Hi. How are you, Tracey?
Good, thank you.
Good. Just a huge fan. I've been watching for a long number of years now. Even before the internet generation came along. Used to write you to the studio, and you always used to send me, signed photos through the mail and stuff, and I just wanted to thank you for that. It meant a lot to me.
Oh, I'm so glad that you wrote. Absolutely.
Being such a huge fan of the show and having so many memorable scenes through the years, my favorite, storyline is, like many other fans, is the Sheila Carter, Lauren Fenmore,
right.
and you and Kimberly Brown are, classic in the soap generation. And the cat fight scene actually kind of stands out from the lab. Do you remember?
Oh yeah. The funny thing about that scene is that, and we always joked because Kimberlyn is taller than I am, and was always in sneakers, and I was always in the highest heels. And that lab fight scene, that pink suit was bugle beads. Well, you can't get traction with bugle beads. Mm-hmm. So whenever I went down onto the lab surface, I slid everywhere. And honestly, if it weren't for Kimberlyn holding on to me for dear life, I would have slid straight across that entire set.
Oh, that's so funny.
And the other part about that big fight scene is I'll never forget once we were done shooting it, and we had stunt doubles that came in that did the major part of it. The director came over, the PA, and said, okay, now we have to do the sound. I said, what do you mean we have to do the sound? Didn't you have sound going? And they said, well, those were the stunt doubles. You and Kimberlyn have to do the sound. So we stood at the monitor watching the fight scene, and we had to do the fight noises, which, let me tell you, sounds like the soundtrack for a porn movie. I have never laughed so hard in my entire life. I was like, this is ridiculous. So it works out.
It's so funny. I still have that on VHS, and every now and then I do put it in. I really do. It is true. I remember being in 7th or 8th grade and when that first aired. So I did tweet you today earlier about your son being on the show yesterday and the scene.
I know. Can you believe that?
I know. I remember when you had him hearing it and reading about it.
That's right. He was the reason we have Scotty somewhere in Toronto.
Right. But I did want to just thank you for all the great years of watching you on the show, and just thank you for doing a great job.
Oh, thank you, Anthony. I so appreciate your phone call.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. I'll talk to you on Twitter. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks, Doug. Bye.
And we have Karen from Ohio. Karen, you're on air with Tracey. Go ahead.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Tracey. Thank you so
how
much
you doing?
for letting us talk.
Absolutely.
Good,
so much fun to talk to everybody.
Well, I want to let you know we really appreciate you staying tried and true to the show, and how much the fans appreciate you being there. And hopefully one day, not that Kathleen Chancellor could be replaced, but you will take over as the matriarch of Genoa City. I'm ready for that day to happen.
That's right. I hope so. That's a great thing.
Until that day comes, that's for sure.
Definitely.
I
appreciate that.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, Doug kind of already covered, was a lot of the Tracey Lauren storylines. Yeah. I really grew up with that and appreciated those so much. And to watch you evolve with you and Tracey's friendship.
Right. I mean, those early scenes were very difficult. Beth and I were best friends during those years. And,
really?
You know, what was the hardest thing is being her best friend and knowing what she was going through emotionally, and then having to play the character of Lauren and taunt her publicly about what I knew she was going through painfully in her real life. And what no one knew, as fun as those scenes came out to be, Beth and I ended up in tears holding on to each other for many days because it was really hard to say those hard things to her. Very hard. But we so enjoyed working together and playing together and having that incredible storyline.
Yeah, because when that whole storyline was going through, I was actually, a heavy-set teen myself and lived vicariously through your guys' storyline. And then a few years back when you guys made up, I just cried and cried and cried.
Oh, so did we. We cried and cried, too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you remembered that and got a chance to see that.
Kudos to the writers for making that happen.
Thank you. Thank you to Maria Bell. It was great that they brought that full circle. We really appreciated it, too.
Yeah, it was as a fan too. It was really great to see that come full circle.
Right, absolutely.
And with all your Sheila and Sarah, and listening to you talk earlier about the hard work of doing the two characters to Sarah together at the same time, I was wondering. Everyone keeps wanting Sheila back. What do you feel about Sheila coming back? Or last time when she came back, were you like, oh no, not Sheila again?
Well, I would really love for Lauren to kind of have a different kind of storyline, only because I've played it. We've kind of gone to the park several times on this, and that does not take away from how much I enjoyed working with Kimberlyn and how much I enjoyed the story, because I certainly did, and I loved every minute of it. And if they wrote it again, I would enjoy it again. But because Lauren has done that storyline so many times, I would truly love to see her in a business situation, a great kind of mystery storyline with Christian, something kind of different.
I couldn't agree more, really, honestly.
Well, thank you. But again, you never say never, right?
Yeah, and I guess it's not up to us, is it? It's up to the writers. Right,
exactly. So, I mean, I just, honestly, I go in the direction they point me. And happily, I happily do it.
Well, Karen,
well, thank you so much for talking to us.
Absolutely, I'm having the best time.
Have a good night.
So much, Karen. I'll talk to you.
And happy, healthy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Do you have time for a few more callers?
Of course.
I'm still been hold. Okay, I just
want
to make sure. I just don't want to keep you from anything. Okay, the next up is, you're welcome. Next is Michelle from Philly. You are on the air with Tracey. Go ahead.
Hi, Tracey.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm great. Thank you. Thanks for calling.
I'm so excited to be talking to you.
Well, I'm excited to be talking to you.
I've watched The Young and The Restless for 20 years. I basically grew up watching it with my grandmother and my mother. And so that I'm like a total Y&R freak. I know all the storylines. I know all the characters' histories, everything.
But that's so great. You see, we so appreciate fans like you and again, Doug, remember, and Joyce, I was talking about the multi-generational. Again, she watched with her grandma and her mom. There's something that connects us to our family and the shows that we watched Michelle and I guess we grew up together, and you grew up watching all of us, and we so appreciate you, and the fact that you still have passion for us means a lot.
Yeah, I do. It's my soap. I watch it twice a day. I watch it when it airs and right before I go to bed because I'm obsessed with it. I have to you know, and then I also watch the ending of the Canadian episode to see what's going to happen the next day because I just have to know. You know,
but that's great. That means that the writers are doing a great job and that you're interested, and we love that.
I'm definitely hooked.
Great.
My question is where, if you had the chance, where would you like to see Lauren go in Genoa City?
Well, I'd really love to see more of her business side. I would love for the Baldwin Fishers to have a phenomenal storyline as a whole family like we used to. We are very blessed, not only that entire storyline, that the actors are so good, but we all adore working together so much and being together that it just would be an amazing experience. So I would love a storyline for all of us.
Yeah, I definitely would like to see more of Lauren because she's one of my favorites on the show.
Well, thank you. Please write CBS.
I will.
I appreciate that.
Before I go, I promised all my Daniel Goddard fans that we send love to you.
Oh, thank you. And I send it back.
Thank you, and I will tell them. And some of them are listening, so they're probably hearing it.
I hope so. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate the call.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Michelle. All right. This is just amazing. These fans are just making me feel so fantastic. I'm so glad I'm able to have this platform for you and for your fans. Let's go ahead and the next one up is Aaron from New York City. Aaron, you are live on air with Tracey. Go ahead.
Hi, Tracey.
Hi, Aaron. Thanks so much for calling.
Oh, my gosh. Thanks for spending this time with all of your fans. It's so nice of you.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
My question, I heard you mention earlier that you had dinner with Eileen Davidson, but my question was, how often do you get to hang out with your co-stars off screen, and do you see any of your past Y&R co-stars that are no longer on the show?
Yes. Michelle Stafford and I are very close, and I see Liz Hendrickson, who plays Chloe, Greg Rickard, who plays Kevin. We have dinner usually every 3 to 4 weeks, standard, and I'm close with Daniel Goddard and his wife Rachel. And of course, I see Christian. I'll see Christian sometimes, but really the ones that I see the most are Greg, Liz, and Michelle.
Oh, that's so neat. It's neat to think of you guys as a community, as well.
Oh, very much so. And I see Beth Maitland, who plays Tracy Abbott, as a past cast member. That's who I see from there.
Great. Well, thanks again for taking all this time with us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for watching and now listening.
Absolutely. Happy New Year.
Thank you so much.
Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. All right, we have Brandy from Ohio. We just got a couple more and we'll be done.
Okay. Hi, Brandy.
Hey,
Hi, Tracy. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you? Did we lose Brandy? I think we lost her.
I'm here.
Oh, hi, Brandy. Okay, good.
my face hit the mute button on my iPhone.
Oh, no. Oh, that happens to me all the time.
Anyway, I've been watching for about 21 years. I'm 38. My mom watches, my kids watch. My son today was like, "Mommy, why is Victor in jail if he didn't kill her?" He's 8.
So, oh my goodness, it's hysterical.
I just want to. I was just wondering what you did before you got into the soap industry.
I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I started on my first soap when I was 14.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so my mom didn't want me to act, so she said I could only act on school holidays. And it was the first day of my spring vacation, and I called my agent, and I said, okay, I'm ready to work. And by that afternoon, I had a rush call to Columbia. At that time, it was Columbia. And by Monday morning, I started Days of Our Lives for 2.5 years. I got really.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. I just want to say thanks for taking my call, and we all appreciate you.
Great.
Well, thank you, Brandy, so much.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Thanks.
All right, we'll wrap it up with this last call. The last call is a close friend of mine. Her name is Joan. She helps administer my Facebook page for the Restless Style Fan Edition side of it, and I do the blog side of it. So, Joan, you're on the air, and thank you so much for being patient. You're on with Tracey.
Oh, thank you, Doug, so much for saying that. And, Tracey, I am just so excited to talk to you. I have been watching YNR since pretty much day one. Of course, I was 3, even though I'm around your age, which is,
yeah, I always
only
say I was a fetus, so let's go with that.
Yes, let's go with that. First and foremost, I loved that you talked earlier. People were chatting online, which I don't know if you see that, about how gorgeous and beautiful you look and how wonderful your skin is. And you did all the things I should have done, which was to stay out of the sun. I mean, you are just gorgeous. But I have a question that's going to go back a ways, and I'm just curious because with our age, back then, it was probably a much bigger deal than now. How did it feel to be buried alive and Paul was looking for you? I don't know how real they made that or not.
They didn't because they knew how claustrophobic I am.
Okay, well, that would be a big...
No, I actually had to do the scene where I was in the coffin, in that, and I was scared to death to do it and have them put the lid on. So Stephen Ford put his feet in the coffin with me, which you never saw. And so they put the lid on literally as they were counting down, and luckily the first moment of the scene they lifted up. And I think the hardest part of the entire thing was Doug had to do CPR, and it's very hard to have someone blow air without puffing up your cheeks. And, it was a very emotional moment. They think Lauren's dead, but it's very hard not to have big puffy cheeks when that's happening. They keep blowing the air in. I didn't know what to do with the air. You can't blow it out because you're not supposed to be breathing. So that took a couple of takes, to say the least.
Because I have to say, for back then, and I'm not one for horror movies or any of all the stuff that was going on back then, I was like sobbing in those scenes when you're buried alive and you want to be rescued, and then Paul saves you, and it was just like, I'm almost tearing up right now. That's how sappy I am.
I know, but it was a crazy storyline, wasn't it?
It was crazy, but back then it was an awesome storyline. I mean, nobody was doing stuff like that I remember.
Amazing.
So, because you were the only soap I ever watched. And I loved it. You left sometimes for a little while, but then they brought you back, and I've always loved that. So I'm so happy you're back.
I left
we need to bring you back more.
Oh, thank you. Please write CBS. But I really appreciate the support. Thank you.
Doug's got all the emails for us to do that, so I absolutely
you're so
will, because
wonderful.
I love it with you and Michael, and I love that you're like you're really the only solid couple on the show, and I think every show needs that. But then there's always trials and tribulations of some sort or another going on, and that's good too. So.
And listen, we appreciate being the solidly married couple. We just would like to do something.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. We can be happily married and do something.
Outside of the wink wink.
Right, exactly.
Okay. I understand. Seems like Michael's kind of always off doing something for Victor, but they don't really do a whole lot with you, and they need to work on that. So
well, you'll see me a little bit more in the Newman boardroom coming up.
Oh, that's good.
Next month.
That's good to know.
Yeah, definitely. That's coming.
That's good to know.
Definitely.
Well, Joan, thank you so much for calling, and thank you for all the work you do, and thank you for calling and talking to Tracey.
Thank you, Joan, and thank you for all the work you do.
Tracey, you are one of the most gracious, just wonderful guests I've heard in a long time on a radio show. So I would I very much appreciate everything you did tonight. So.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Bye-bye. Bye, Doug.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, Tracey, we made it. We survived.
We made it.
We did it.
Excellent.
For all the callers, there's a few other callers on hold. I am very sorry. We will be doing this again with different cast members throughout the year. Listeners know my passion. We will definitely get Tracey back on in the year to come. And if you have a question that you didn't get to ask, tweet it to her at Tracey Bregman, and she'll get to you as soon as she can. She's new to Twitter, and you're doing great. You're doing.
I'm doing my best. I really try and stay on it, and it's so funny that I always think, oh, people don't want to hear what I'm doing all day, and if I don't tweet, people call and say, you're awfully quiet, and I think that's so cute. They actually care.
I'm going to ask my final question, and then I'll let Joyce wrap it up, and then we will let you go so you can get back to the scripts. And the fact that you say that you're studying scripts means more Lauren time. My question is, why isn't there more Lauren on Young and Restless?
Oh, my God. If I understood that, I don't. I honestly, I don't understand.
Okay,
I wish I did. I don't know. I guess they start working on other storylines and they want to complete those, and then they want to move on. But I wish there was more, and I hope that there will be.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was contracts or if you're recurring. I really don't know the stat. I don't know the current status of you. So I didn't know if you were just recurring and they use Lauren whenever needed.
I am, but that has never come into play. As you know, I did the doppelganger storyline with that. I've worked constantly without it for many, many years.
Oh,
so
well,
I think it's just, it's a cyclical, and it's other people's turn.
Yes, but you will see lots of me on Twitter because Lauren is 2012. That's my mission, is to get Lauren, and just as you said, either more business or a Baldwin Fisher solid front burner storyline again that doesn't revolve Kevin being in a closet or being obsessed with you or doppelgangers or all this other stuff. I would love to see Maria and her team take you to a new level that doesn't involve, I'm a Sheila fan, but doesn't involve going backwards, but going forward.
Right.
And seeing something else. And when you did the scene with Tucker and yourself at the board meeting recently, that was awesome because you got to interact with some other characters that you normally don't get to normally interact with.
Which was a lot of fun.
Oh, I bet. And since you said that that's the more coming up, that's great news to come. If you weren't involved with Christian and in a marriage, who else would you like to see Lauren be involved with in an intimate way that you haven't been with, not Paul or anybody else that you've been with? Who else do you think Lauren could mix it up with?
I actually think Adam would be really interesting.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because I think you two would be fantastic together. I've been saying this for quite a while. A lot of people don't like the idea, but I think it would be fantastic because he's a sociopath, kind of, not all right, but he's not the Sheila and the Sean and all those people you've dealt with before. He's a troubled guy. He's done bad things, but he's in the current episodes, he's showing that he's got a heart. And I think that if you and him cross paths, I think that could take us to a whole new level of.
Right. We did a scene together at Diane's funeral, and Michael and I kind of really worked on how can we add to this. And the reason I pick him is because he's not the obvious choice, and he is a very, very different character. And wild, and I'm not saying that it would even have to be a love affair. It might be just a very, very interesting friendship or interest in each other.
I think that would be fantastic. Especially with you now being on the Newman board, and him obviously being on the board as well. That could lead to such an interesting storyline to you somewhat take you under his wing and to help gain more support for him in, quote-unquote, generosity.
Right, because right now we're on opposite sides. Even though we're on the same board, we're on opposite sides. So it would be very interesting to see kind of an arc as to how they would maybe find common ground.
That's true. Well, Tracey, I really, really appreciate you guys, taking the time tonight. We ran a little bit over, and I know you're really busy trying to do your job so we can love you more on screen. So, again, thank you so much for calling in tonight. I wish I could have spoken a little bit more, but this is my first time to screen callers, and we had a lot of callers for you tonight. So.
Oh, excellent, and you did great. You did absolutely great. It was wonderful speaking with you, and it was wonderful to speak to all the fans that called in, and I really appreciate it.
I mean, everybody in the message boards are just talking about how gracious you were and how fantastic you were and beautiful. And one question that was asked quite a bit, just real quick, was talking about the Jabot products.
Right.
I think I kind of got the impression that a lot of the fans would buy it more if they felt like it was benefiting you personally. Is that true?
No, it's definitely. I definitely use all these products, and I stand behind them. They're really great.
So, okay, perfect. So then I'll let them know that if they did buy it, then it would benefit you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That's so lovely. Yes, actually, if they went to hsn.com, it would. Thank you for that.
Because that was one of the questions that was asked several times. They'd want to buy it if they knew that it could help you personally. So we'll make sure and get that out there.
That's so lovely. That's so lovely. But and also more importantly, they will love them.
Well, I can't wait to try it myself.
Oh, good. You have to call me. You tweet me and tell me what ones you're thinking about getting, and I'll talk you through it.
Will do.
And also, everybody should know that my Facebook fan page. Anybody can write me if they have any questions about the Jabot products. I'm on it. I answer every question, and I'm here to help anybody through it.
That's perfect. Great. We had 2 surprise guests that we were supposed to call in, so you can get with them at a later date why they didn't call in. But I had Michael Damian, who's scheduled to call in, and Christian LeBlanc was to call in, but sadly, it didn't work out, apparently. Their numbers didn't show up on the switchboard. They were going to surprise you. So we'll just have to leave it to Christian. Exactly. Next time we will be able to do it. Well,
absolutely.
Tracy, thank you so much for this time. This has been a dream come true. Later in the year, I would love to reach out to you again and bring you back on as a guest. You've been you've been a great first guest. Just to let you know, I do have Michael Damian coming on in a couple of weeks, and I have Michelle Stafford at the end of the month. So, and Eileen Davidson is also coming on. So I'm very excited to get some of the leading ladies of, no offense to Michael Damian, but the other ones are leading ladies.
I think he would be honored to be in that company, let me tell you.
That's awesome. So, anyway, I wish you well.
So I would love to come back toward the end of the year because I'll have lots more to talk about, that's for sure.
Oh, can't wait.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Thank you so much, you guys. Great show, and I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And we will talk to you on
Bye-bye.
Twitter. Thank you. Now go study your lines, okay?
I'm never going to forget these lines. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Okay, well, everybody, that was an excellent first show tonight with the fabulous Tracey Bregman. I'm sorry for the people that called that I didn't get to. I have to respect the talent that calls in. I tell them an hour, but she was gracious to stay over a little bit longer. I hope that Joyce and I did good for our first premiere episode of Restless Style Blogcast with a special guest. I'm going to let Joyce speak in just a moment to close out the show. But for listeners, don't forget January 14th at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here at the same link. You'll be able to talk to Michael Damian, who plays and played Danny Romalotti. And then also on January 19th, the lovely Michelle Stafford will be joining us for a hour-long chit-chat. And I just got word, this is news to everybody, that Eileen Davidson, who plays Ashley Abbott, will be joining us at the end of the month. I just got done talking to her before I talked to Tracey, so she will be rounding out. That's a fantastic first month lineup. I thank everybody who called in, who listened. It'll be sent over to iTunes so you can download, and you can also download the episode right here at blogtalkradio.com. You can also stream it live at our blog, and I'll post it on Facebook as well. I'm done for the moment. I will now hand it over to Joyce to say goodbye, and we will all see you next week for a normal weekend review next Wednesday. Stay tuned. Go ahead, Joyce, to close out the show.
Again, I just want to thank everybody for calling in, too. We had such a fantastic turnout tonight, and I knew you guys would not disappoint us. We were, very much looking forward to it, and I love the questions on the chat room, love the questions we got on Twitter, and, I apologize for not being able to take all the callers, but lesson learned. Next time, call in sooner, people. First come, first serve. So thank you guys so much. We really, really appreciate all your support, and look forward to you guys downloading it later, too. And on the last note, don't forget to go to hsn.com for Jabot products, because it definitely does help out Tracey. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, and good night.
Blog Talk Radio, where millions of hosts and listeners gather.